episode 113. But Jerry brought up a point about the fragility of life earlier on in the conversation, and all that we've been talking about in terms of the signs and symptoms of burnout also mimic lots of other illnesses, and we know that they are all life shortening. Any of those that are related to stress, they're all life shortening. Brett made this fantastic comment about the reward for doing your work is extra work. So knowing, and I'm sure we've all got personal anecdotes of people who had great retirement plans and didn't make them, or people whose only focus is when I retire, when I retire, when I retire, and they spend their entire lives working towards this imaginary date. And depending on where you are in the world, certainly in the UK, the government just continually keeps putting up the retirement age. I found it laughable that as a paramedic, we would go to 50, 60, 70-year-old people who aren't actually able to cope with their lives. They're acopic, and they're then saying to us, but you as paramedics are going to work past the ages that these people are becoming, I'm going to use a politically incorrect phrase, more of a burden on society. So what are we doing? We're going from a ragged edge of burnout to the wild edge of sorrow and grief, watching those around us drop dead of heart attacks. The cancer rates are going up through the roof. Where are we living? Gaby made an excellent point about the grief that she felt in burnout was for the life that she'd lost, because the things she cut back on were the things that help us, the hobbies, the spending time with friends, family, loved ones, the taking a break and going for a walk. So let's consider that for a moment, or for an entire episode as we roll on. Death comes to us, and all I see in the conversation we've just had is that we hasten it towards us in a way that we previously maybe have never done.
Before we get really serious here, I think you need to add a page to the book that says, what the fuck are we doing? The fuck are you doing? Please add that to the book. Go ahead, Gaby.
I was going down that road because I think as society we have lost the plot. Definitely lost the plot. If you think about it, it's modern slavery we have created. We may don't have a chain around our necks anymore, but we have chains in being in debt to the banks, so we can't quit our jobs. We have to work harder. We have to get a side hustle. I mean, when in the name of God did it come along that we need a side hustle? Isn't one 40-hour job enough? Why do we need a side hustle on the side to make more money? Because we can't afford life anymore. Alec mentioned feminism. And feminism, the idea originally was a good idea because women had no money of their own. They were dependent on the husband. If you had an abusing relationship, you couldn't leave the husband because you had no money. You, as a woman, you had no right to own property. You had no right to own the house. It was all in a man's name. It's not that long ago that women weren't allowed to own a bank account. They didn't have to own bank accounts. They were completely dependent on men. That's where it came from. We have forgotten how restricted our grandmothers were with all this stuff. Now it has turned into, but beside being a mother and a housewife, you also have to have a full-time job and earn all the money. Women don't even have a choice anymore because mortgages and rents have gone up that much. One income isn't enough anymore. So you don't even have a choice to stay at home. If you want to stay home, you have to go working full time. So we have created a society where there's pressure coming from everywhere. Left, right, and center. Left, right. Education used to be free. Education costs you now hundreds and thousands of dollars in the US. Even in Europe, the prices have gone up. Just to get an education, to go to work, to earn the money, and then you have to pay that. I mean, you're indebted by the time you're 25. What the hell are we doing as a society? And then we wonder why mental health issues are going up, why burnout is going up, all those issues. And maybe, and I'm coming back to Cherry, I want to bring Cherry in. Maybe this is where the tiredness of life comes from, or how you said, the burnout of life. Because in total, it's just too much. And then when you have a chance to step back and take a breather, maybe it just comes crashing down. These questions, what in the name of God did I do in the last 60 years with my life? Because now we realize, have I wasted 60 years? Should life be different? Why are we living life this way? Why, oh why? Or as Alex said, now with retirement age going up and up and up, when do we get there to take a break? 70, 75? Then we have 2 days left, 2 years left, and then we drop that, and that was it. So I just wanted to throw that out.
Honestly,
turned very sideways.
I know. He's sideways. What happened, Jerry? You're sideways.
I didn't know how that.
Does he hear
I
us?
didn't know how that was.
Yeah, there you are. You're back.
I didn't know how that was appearing. I just.
I mean, it does send things sideways. And Jerry, please come back in, because this was a point that you made about the fragility and seeking the balance.
Okay. It can get loud back here, so you got to let me know if it gets distractive.
His connections.
Can you hear me or no?
He looks delayed.
Can you hear me?
He's just not rushing to answer. That's all it is. It's like, fuck it, I will answer the question in my own good time.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
I don't know if his connection is something's happening, but when this talk of like retirement feels like a unicorn to me. It's like some magical creature that I've heard stories about. I don't know. Like, it doesn't feel real, only because it's like, is that really even possible? Because of all the things that, that Gaby just listed. There's so many demands and so much that, debt and all of that stuff. It just doesn't, I don't know how you get there. It feels like it's just it has to be really intentional to be able to even get there. This conversation makes me really sad about the state of being right now. It's like we're not allowed to just exist in the world. And it all gets buried. Who you are really gets buried underneath all of the demands of having to be a certain way, that you lose sight of who you really are and don't know how to, tap back into that.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you have to be productive. You have to be of value. Even if you look at the health industry or the personal growth industry, you have to be of value. Why? Why can I not just be?
Yeah.
Just be a good person. Just be a good person. Why do I have to bring value to everything? Because that's so linked to productivity. I cannot just be a good friend to a friend and be there when they need me or go for a chat. No, I have to be a value in the friendship. What does it even mean? What you know what I mean?
Dude.
So Jerry, can you hear us now?
Well, I walked into Brett's room because my phone, I can see and hear every one of my.
Jerry's in the room. This is hysterical.
I can see it.
Jerry's over. There he is.
I mean, you guys are on my phone and everything, but you can't hear you. You can't hear me or nothing. So I don't know what's going on with my phone. So
Brett, you're muted, so we can't hear anything.
I'm not muted.
You guys are going to figure that out.
If I unmute, you get feedback. So I had a little.
Probably just turn my phone. I gotta turn this off.
Yeah.
This is what you get when you have a last minute. Hey, let's jump on a podcast.
Do you know what, Erica?
Here now.
Now he's here with us.
Okay,
he's here with us.
He's
you
here with us now.
Sit there and be like Waldorf and Sadler, and heckle, and that'll probably be the most sort of heckling interaction we've had since we did the reel with Erica, and people decided to do some hating on her. But
oh yeah, they hated me.
Oh, yeah, they hated me. Tell us, do you still hate Erica? How do you really feel?
Go ahead, Alex. What were you saying?
This value in friendship that Gaby was talking about, part of the reason we started the conversation about burnout previously was because I was saying to Erica, I'm sorry that you're frustrated with me, and I know that you want me to be doing certain tasks and things, but fuck it. Should we have to in our friendships say to people, I'm sorry I'm frustrating you because I'm not doing what you expect me to? I mean, it's great that we have the relationship that we can have that, a frank and open, yeah, I'm picking up this vibe. But Jesus Christ, is it not bad enough that we are beholden to our employers? If we become beholden to our friends as well in a way that puts pressure onto us, we become isolated. If we didn't have that relationship, you and I, Erica, we could have drifted. I was like, not phoning her, she always wants something, or I'm not listening to him, he's an arsehole, which, to be honest, you say anyway, even when I am doing things. But that's good. I mean, it's the kind of love we have for each other.
It's funny because when you said it, I immediately was like, but my frustration with you is not your fucking problem. It's my problem. So it's not something that you should have to be worried about. You're free to do what you want. It's more for me to figure out why I'm frustrated. And that's when the whole conversation came out, because I am very well aware that frustration is also a protective emotion, like anger is. So it's protecting something deeper that I was not trying to navigate through, but it shows up as frustration because allowing yourself to tap into those deeper emotions is scary, right? It's like, I don't want to show this because I don't know how it's going to be received. And this is touching into what Jerry said about, sometimes you don't want to talk about certain things because you don't know how it's going to make other people feel. And Gaby said something earlier that I wanted to come back to about when she walked out of the store, she experienced burnout where her body just wouldn't move. And all she really wanted to do, but didn't do, and I want to know, why didn't you do it, was to sit down and actually just cry in the middle of the street, right? So it's all of those really vulnerable, deeper down emotions that are nobody else's responsibilities but our own. So I agree with you 100%. We shouldn't have to feel like, oh my God, I have to be a certain way for my friend and then feel that pressure. I experienced that with a past friendship where I was actually told, I'm disappointed in you. And I remember thinking, get the fuck out of here. Like, you're supposed to be my friend and I got to worry about you now coming at me that you're disappointed in me in the way that I beat you. What? Like, it didn't feel very friendship like, and like sort of like, I love you, you're my friend. Yeah, I do believe that you should be able to have that level of trust and honesty with each other to be able to say, yeah, man, you're pissing me off, but I still love, like, it doesn't matter. It's not going to change how I view you and how I want to be in your life, but you should be able to say that to each other without any hurt feelings or any changes in anything. Push come to shove, it's still the same relationship.
And your point about frustration is, and we four are part of ecology, and you do have something of a reputation of being like the angry, the outspoken, and yet previous guest on the show, Alexandra, says, I don't think Erica's angry, I think she's passionate. And yet things fire you up because you're seeing maybe some kind of injustice in it, or maybe there's disappointment. Using your grief recovery model, things could have been different, better, or more. And what happens with that? Because if we're not expressing emotions and we're not able to do that safely in friendships, that is also going to add to this fragility of life, or in life, that we sort of asked Jerry to comment on a few minutes ago at the beginning of this episode.